All right. Oh, goodness. Well, let's take a look outside. Lots of this around. Let's take a look first off at where the rain is falling right now, because the good news is the rain is pretty much over. A few little sprinkles around will not make things any worse. Obviously, we don't need it, but at least it's not going to make things any worse. Heavier thunderstorms now across Vermilion Bay, actually extending well offshore, then across between New Iberia and Franklin, and then eastward from there. They are, by the way, getting some serious flooding also around the Baton Rouge area and eastward from there along the Amite and Comite rivers, in case you may have friends or relatives or somewhat over that way. But the good news for us is things are clearing from west to east as everything is moving on eastward, and therefore things will be improving, although rather slowly. At least the weather will be improving. It'll take a while, of course, for all the drainage to get out of the way. Now, as we put the satellite pictures in motion over the last 20 hours, we'll be looking at a close-up view, if you will, of, well, from Texas across Louisiana. And you can see, watch this, there you see those thunderstorms. They just sort of flared up and kept forming over the same general area. And that was why we had so much rain in this immediate location. Notice, though, towards the end, all the thunderstorms, at least the heaviest ones, where you see the red, that means the clouds are the coldest, the ones that are highest up in the atmosphere, therefore the ones that are going to be of greatest intensity, well out there in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's going to be robbing the ones further inland, producing a lot of rainfall, although they will still have some problems for the more eastern part of the state. So everything is looking pretty good. I also noticed the clearing trend back into Texas. Everything is again working on its way eastward. Let's take a look at conditions a little closer to home. Area of low pressure has been working its way slowly along the coast. It's now located in our immediate vicinity and working its way on eastward. Temperatures, of course, very warm. Humidity is quite high. Have kind of a complicated surface scenario, but the really cooler, drier air is still located well back into Texas and will not be reaching us until later tonight and during the day tomorrow, when our winds will kick in from a more north and northwesterly direction, bringing with it the drier air. Now, one of the questions we've been getting a lot of, and in fact this is something we got from the city of Lafayette, and Rob Perillo made this up for us to kind of help you understand as best we can, at least to try to explain to you why the Vermilion is causing such a flooding problem right now. Well, the trouble is the Vermilion is usually within its banks with all of the drainage coming into the river, of course, above normal water level. When the river gets this high, which is where it is now, it's well above where all the drainage pipes are, which means, therefore, the pressure goes from the river up through the drainage pipes and back upstream. So the drainage pipes cannot drain into the river. Instead, the river is actually forcing water out of the drainage pipes. The pressure, as it says here, the high water level is causing the water to flow from the river rather than to the river, and that's why everything is backing up, and that's the way it's going to stay until the water gets down below where the drainage pipes are and, of course, the levels of the coulees. So that's what the problem is. Not an easy problem to solve, because in order to solve it, you got to lower this, and that means lots of dredging, and that's pretty expensive. Well, anyway, let's take a look at what's going to happen tomorrow. Sunshine will be breaking out. Clouds will be coming to an end during the morning hours. The rain is already tapering off, everything onto the east of us, and we're looking pretty good for the next couple of days. Forecast for the offshore waters. Don't think you want to go fishing anyway, but in case you do, seas offshore should be around 3 or 4 feet. Inland, we'll be looking for some rain. The rain ending tonight could have some fog by early morning with the overnight low around 50. Then for tomorrow, with northerly winds at around 10, the afternoon high mid to upper 60s, and decreasing cloudiness. Looks like a pretty nice day. Tomorrow night, about 45 degrees under fair skies, so it'll be a little bit cooler for early Friday morning. And I don't have time for the McDonald's weather winter or the fishing forecast. Don't know why you want to go fishing tomorrow anyway. Just, you know, throw a cast net out your back net or something, a backyard or something. Some of the rainfall totals have come into us, and we're getting a kind of a compilation here. Arnoville, Cecilia, Municipal Golf Course here in Lafayette, around 12 inches. Here in Lafayette, here at TV-10, we've had around 10. The Scott-Dusson area is around 9.5 to 10 inches, and then from there it kind of trickles down. The report that we've had from Abbeville, for example, only 3 inches down there. So gives you a little bit of an idea as to what we've had to deal with.
We'll be back with more News Scan 10 right after this.
And they could cause some problems. It would be very difficult for them to get into your house.
So the best thing to do is just stay away from them. They'll go away.
Yes.
Jim, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to visit with you. We'll be back with a final word about the flooding right after this. Closures, street closures that we've gotten to during the day today, and also some more aerial video. And as we do, let's talk a little bit. You talked to Dick about some of the river stages, I think.
Yeah, Dick, what can you tell us about the
Well, the main concern now, of course, is how high is the Vermilion River going to get, and when is it going to start dropping? Again, this is kind of a difficult question to answer, since we do not get recent or real reliable river gauge readings, but we are getting some information from the Surrey Street gauge, and it's expected to crest at around 16 feet, which will be the highest of record at Surrey Street, and that'll be either as we speak or very shortly. It should be cresting now, and probably will start falling slowly thereafter. expected to be around 17.5 feet further on downstream at the Louisiana 733 bridge. And of course, those are all record levels with regard to the modern day record. The previous record set back in May of 1980. Previous record 15.02 feet at Surrey Street. So we're going to break that by about a foot or so. So that'll give you some frame of reference for those of you that lived along the river for any length of time. For you old heads, you may recall that, of course, it was much worse back in 1940. Did not have any gauges on the river at that time, but estimates were it could have been as high as 22 feet. And with that particular event in August of 1980, when we had even far more rain than what we've had so far today. So at any rate, as far as the modern day record is concerned, this is the flood of record for the Vermilion River. We have not received any information with regard to the Teche with regard to any flooding. So as far as I know, at least, the Teche is high, yes, but there are no floods, nobody being flooded out along the Teche that we're aware of.
And as far as the cancellations go, we can't show you all of them at this time because we're out of time practically, but just stay off the roads unless you have to go. Just about everything that was scheduled today is canceled.
Yeah, we'll be back right after this.